Hello, I'm Chris Weir from Fit Education. There is a lack of information within Australian sport research about women in elite coaching roles. This highlights the need for discussion and further studies that break down the disparity between male and female coaches and why this exists in the industry. In the Australian team of accredited coaches at the 2016 Rio Olympic Games, only 9% of these were women. The 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games only saw a slight increase in these numbers, with 13% of the coaching team being females. Evidently, a significant lack of females' representation in high-level coaching positions still exists. There is extensive data that shows how, in general, women are still grossly underrepresented in sports. 40% of all sports participants are females, yet women's sports receive only 4% of all sport media coverage, and female athletes are much more likely than male athletes to be portrayed in sexually provocative poses. 47% of all athletes in the Tokyo Olympics were women, but only 13% of the coaching staff were, and only 30.5% of the technical officials were women. The 2021 Australian Olympic team saw 254 women, 53%, out of 482 athletes. However, only less than 10% of the coaches in the Australian Olympic team were women. In Australian soccer, there are 2,934 accredited coaches, and just 137, or 4.6% of them are women. It is also interesting to note that in all Australia female sports, excluding netball, only 25% of the coaching roles are filled by female coaches. Only 30% of key management personnel were women in Australian sporting organisations, down from 38% the previous year, while that figure was 33% for women in high performance roles. In 2020, out of the 89% of adults over 15 years that participated in sport or physical activity, only 31% were women versus 69% men. Gender roles. The history of gender roles in society has some explanation for the lack of female coaches over the past few decades. Women are often given lower level coaching roles which financially build the foundations of sports clubs to develop the athletes. As a consequence, they lack the opportunity to train top-tier athletes and are not the chosen of coaches for major events. Another influencing factor on female coaching involvement is the history of male dominance in sport. For as long as structured sport has been running, male athletes have had high participation rates and salaries. However, as women's sports has expanded over recent years, coaching roles for women have not developed in the same way. Representation of female coaches in current statistics. Female coaching in athletics for the past 3 decades remains under 2%, and although low, this is the highest number recorded. The number of directors is represented by a male to female ratio of 5:1. Stats from 2006 show that when a female director was introduced into a division of school sports, female coaches went up 20%. Within female coaching positions, 56% of women are in an assistant coaching job. And although this is a higher number, there are considerably less women in the head coaching role. Coaching styles. Male and female coaches have varying skill sets and qualities that they offer to athletes, and neither is more beneficial than the other. A study in the Journal of Sport Behaviour found that athletes responded similarly to male and female coaching styles. So there is no reason for there to be disparity in the number of male versus female coaches. Research about what athletes most value in a coach demonstrates 4 common attributes: remaining calm, care and encouragement, knowledge about the sport, involving the team in decision making. Male dominance in sport. External barriers. There are a variety of external and internal factors that create a male-dominant industry. Some of the external factors include unequal assumption of competence. There is a stigma around male and female coaching where male coaches are supposedly more competent while female coaches have to prove themselves as capable. Hiring from a principle of similarity. Homologous reproduction is the idea where people in power will hire similar people. This is evident when looking at the number of female directors in sport compared to the female coaches. Lack of female mentors. A mentor is someone who provides guidance and facilitates networking to their mentee. The lack of women in powerful positions mean there is also a lack of female mentors to help other women in their careers and getting into coaching roles. Internal barriers. There are also internal barriers of female coaches preventing them from accomplishing at higher levels. Some of the internal barriers include lack of assertiveness. Women often feel the need to be liked as highly important. This can interfere with the ability to negotiate, define rules, and manage conflict in a team setting, which can reduce the conditions they work under. Inhibition in promotion or accomplishments. Women are more likely to associate success as a team effort rather than something individually achieved. This can be perceived as a weakness for a coaching role in a sport industry that has looked up for a long time to strong, egotistical male characters as the right coaching figure. High stress of balancing work and life. Coaching can often require long hours, including training, games, and travelling to different places. Many stated that to balance work and family time became difficult, especially for women during childbearing years. This has resulted in many females remaining in assistant positions and not aiming for high roles to help stay at home. Barriers externally and internally impact women in sporting roles. Strategic and solutions need to be implemented to address these barriers to increase the presence of women in sport. There is a long history of stigma and misrepresentation of females in the sport and fitness industry, which limits the opportunities for women to take on high-level coaching roles. For females to become established as valuable figures in sport coaching, change needs to be made, starting with a strong preparation for the next generation of women coaches. I would like to invite you to search and learn about the Women's Sports Academy. The Women's Sports Academy launched in 2022 with a very specific mission: shaping the future of women in sport. The Women's Sports Academy is founded by Katrina Robertson, experienced psychologist, world powerlifting champion, and world record holder. She's been providing professional services in the areas of leadership, mentoring, well-being, health and rehabilitation, gym consultancy, sports performance, strength coaching, and motivational speaking for many years. Katrina brings all her knowledge and experience towards building a community for sports-orientated women to grow and nurture into the best generation of women's sports professionals. Female amateur and professional athletes, coaches, and any women with an interest in sport will find in Katrina's methodology an innovative and highly successful way to develop their physical abilities, skills, and knowledge to become the best version of themselves. Women are now able to enrol in the Women's Sports Academy to study conditioning, sports psychology, and coaching skills through a diploma of sport that will help them pursue a career in sports coaching and sports development while strength training 3 days per week and enjoying one-on-one mentoring sessions with Katrina Robertson. Graduates from the Diploma of Sport at the Women's Sports Academy will improve their athletic abilities and be able to find work coaching athletes, managing competitions, sports venues and facilities, and identifying and developing athletes at all levels. Thank you for listening.